Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Stephanie Fine here at 12:30 on a Thursday for our Ounce of Prevention chat. We do this here at Maintenance University because we talk about all things how to prevent weight gain, how to lose weight, all that stuff. And we're doing that today. And I am so happy to be here with you. So it is March 19th, 2020. And March, I had declared, was Maintenance Awareness Month. I think we're not going to remember March 2020 as Maintenance Awareness Month. Can you think of something else we might remember for? Oh my gosh, in the week that we just had, that we've seen each other, it's what a world, what a change. So of course we're going to address that here. Because for so many reasons. First of all, we're human and all this stuff is happening. But second of all, it is a time that people are freaking out about so many things, and we're going to get to that. There's good reasons too, but about gaining weight. And I want to tell you that that does not have to happen. We're going to work together to make sure that doesn't happen. And I will tell in the blog, which is at stephaniefinemd.com. You go there, you look at the blog. It's how to cope without eating everything in sight. There have been so many funny memes about March and May. You know, like I'm all skinny and beautiful in March, and then when May comes, I'm just exploding because I've been eating everything. That idea is out there, and I want to make sure that we use that time differently because it does not have to be that way. So this is going to be actually a two-parter. So tomorrow at 12:30, I am going to go into extreme detail on the food-specific strategies for how to not gain weight during this quarantine time, okay? The outline is in the blog, so it's all right there. You can access it now. I'm working on a workbook that's going to be available tomorrow when I go live to talk about the strategies there. But first, there are a bunch of strategies first that are really important, and I want to talk about that first, okay? So, first things first. Stay safe, how not to get the infection, right? Well, I mean, we can't guarantee that, but a good way to keep yourself safe, as you well know, hopefully, is social distancing, which actually is physical distancing. It's not social distancing because you can call people, you can talk to them on the phone, you can text, you can FaceTime, you can do any of those things. So it's very important to stay in touch with people, but it's physical distancing. And what that means is the CDC is talking about 6 feet. Okay, and because that's where a droplet, if you're talking or coughing, can go 6 feet. So that there's a reason for that. So the physical distancing, the washing of your hands with soap for 20 seconds, or you can use Purell whenever you're near a sink. That's what you should use, is the soap and water, and then not touching your face. So that's important. The wet parts are the parts that can get transmission if you touch something and touch. If you don't get it in you, you can't get it. So the ways that it goes in, it's certainly like a cut it could go in too, but the big ways are mouth, nose, eyes. And if you can be coughed at or you can touch it, and that would be the way you get it. So that's preventing the infection piece. Now, boosting your immunity is going to be super important right now. The whole reason we're trying to flatten the curve, the whole reason we're in our homes is because we don't want to use the hospital facilities if we don't need to. That's the whole reason. We want fewer people to need the hospital. So people need hospitals for all sorts of reasons, right? Not just coronavirus. So we want you to stay safe, don't break bones, don't have heart attacks, don't get the flu for creep's sake. So we don't want this. So the hand washing also is to help you not get a cold, not get the flu, which is still happening. And we don't want you to need to go to the hospital. So the ways to keep yourself, so this is super important. This is not a nothing thing. This is your job right now, okay? That's how I want you to think about it. Your job is to do the things that the CDC says because we care about our community, ourselves, our families, everything. We want there to be resources when we need them too, when our loved ones need them. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So the prevention, that's why you are staying inside, okay? So now we need to increase our immune system, make sure it's super strong. How do we do that? Very basic, easy ways to do that. Get your sleep. OMG. Now, if if you have sleep issues, please, I understand. But things that will help you sleep are things like, don't have caffeine past a certain time. If that affects you, some people it doesn't affect. But if it affects you, don't have the caffeine then. Don't have sodas, diet sodas, don't have coffee. Alcohol. Know how much affects your sleep. Maybe you can have a glass at night, but if you have two, it messes with you. So be aware of that, because your sleep is so, so, so important. That's when your body's working to make sure that you, are healthy, are cleaned up, everything. So sleep. You need to stay hydrated. This is something that I have really sort of struggled with, because in my normal day, I drink a ton, no problem. But I have noticed that I am not drinking enough unless I'm thinking about it. So please, make sure that you get your water in. Hydration is really important. Any dehydration sets you up for being more susceptible to things and also feeling cruddy. So it's very important to hydrate. You also have to move. Have to. We cannot just sit on the couch, sit on our computer. We cannot do that, because our bodies aren't designed to be that way. So it's really important that you make sure to have a system of moving. So there's lots of exercise videos now. There are, what I say in the blog and what I think is completely true is that walking outside is the best. So if you can get in the habit of each day walking outside, you're golden. That's all you need. 30 minutes is ideal. If it has to be less, that's fine. But moving outside is the best. Of course, away from people, you're just going for a walk on your own outside, the best. But again, exercise videos, any of those things, you got to keep moving. Now, I will say, and I've talked to my clients about this, a lot of my clients, which I love, are doing resistance training. So important, especially for women 40 and over. Resistance training, that's Pilates, yoga, weightlifting, personal trainers, all that sort of thing. If you've been doing that a while, you have muscle. Bless you, by the way. If you stop doing it, you will lose that muscle very quickly. So what I want to tell you and plead for you is to keep up the resistance training. Now, you may not be able to go to the gym and you may not be able to go to your Pilates classes anymore, but you can do things online. You can get little videos that show you to do, 5 push-ups and this many squats and that sort of thing. Now, don't injure yourself, but at the same time, keep up at least a little resistance training. Do yoga moves, do something so that you don't lose a lot of your muscle. If you're noticing that you're losing a lot of weight in a short amount of time and you're not doing anything, that's what's going on, is you're losing some muscle. So I really want you to pay special attention to keep up your muscle mass. Again, this is all for immunity, okay? Fourth thing is eat well. Okay. So this is super important. What I mean by that is healthy foods, right? Minimally processed foods. This is produce and vegetables and fruits and whole grains, meats. Those things are really important. Now that kind of can work in our favor, right? Because we have to be going to the grocery store. We have to be making a lot of our food more than we were in the past. We can't go to restaurants. Now, sometimes you can get stuff delivered and stuff, and I do want to encourage people to support their local businesses, but maybe a lot less than you did before. There's always a risk to getting outside food. It's riskier than if you're making the food yourself. So it's a great time. This is one of those teeny good things, is you're polishing off your cooking skills. Amazing. You'll be able to see what you can make, what's easy, what you like, what your family likes, how that works. That is a great, great thing to be getting used to, because every home meal is fewer calories than out meals. Period, end of sentence. So when we're talking about stress eating, we can see that there might be a balance with the way we're going to be eating because we're eating at home. Okay, so there is some good stuff there. Also, there seems to be, at least where I am, there's a lot of produce available. So produce isn't going anywhere. There's a shortage of toilet paper and eggs and bread where we are, but not vegetables and fruits. So that you could always make meals out of that. Make sure there's a protein in there if you can. It's the processed foods that are the issue. And certainly in emergencies, let's say you have someone who's sick in your home, so you can't go out and you're using your pantry stuff. You will be able to do that. That's not going to affect you. It's the snacking that's the issue. It's the eating when you're not hungry. Portioning your meals out and having 3 meals a day when you have a limit on your food, you can handle that. It's the snacking because we're anxious that we have to stop on so many levels. So many reasons we have to do that. To save ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, but also to save the food supply and things like that. Okay, so now we've talked about preventing infection. We've talked about keeping your immune system. The next really important piece is right up here. OMG. Can our brains go nutty or what? Oh, the thinking, the worrying, the craziness. I mean, there's plenty to set it off. I mean, I'm not saying anyone's crazy for thinking crazy things. If you're going to think crazy things, now's the time. However, we can't indulge in that too much. That's just the bottom line. Because we're needed. We're needed in our family. We're needed in our community. We're needed to stay calm, thoughtful, aware. We are needed. And because of that, we owe it to ourselves and everyone to take care of our brains, take care of the way we're thinking. And there's very important ways to do that. And the first one is so important. Please limit your intake of the craziness. You could spend 24 hours a day listening to there's memes, there's articles, there is so much going on. I really want you to look inward and get the best information you can in the shortest amount of time. I'd love you to limit the amount of time, pick a number, 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Pick the best reliable sources. In the blog, I have a link to the most reliable sources. It includes things like the CDC and WHO and those sorts of things, reliable hospital systems, that sort of stuff. And then put good stuff in there, as much good stuff as you can. I'm talking literally like motivational, uplifting, thinking of ways, being creative, all that stuff, super important. I also talk about meditation, being present, breathing helps with that sort of thing too. All that stuff is important because we need you. The second piece, because we're all home, is the idea of routine. Now, again, that's for your mental health. Because if you're sitting around, let me tell you something. There's actually studies done that you can get depressed from acting depressed. I mean, it's like your body and mind don't know which comes first. So do not sit on the couch all day long. Just don't. Now, you obviously can sit on the couch, but there should be some sort of structure to your day. Like whenever you wake up, and you can decide what time that is. And you don't have to spring up at 6 a.m. if you don't want to. But do you shower in the morning? Maybe you shower at night. Fine. Either way, make sure that you are keeping a schedule. Meaning, I wake up, I shower, I dress. I do this and I help the kids with their remote school, and then I make a lunch for them, and then some sort of routine. I do some work. That and then bedtime you need to have a bedtime. And remember, we're getting our 7 to 9 hours of sleep. This is so important. I will be talking about this a lot because it is vital that we keep our brains, that we don't go nutty, okay? So the routine, the keeping our brains calm, doing the things daily to keep our brains calm, gratitude is in there too. There's a lot of ways to be able to manage our mind. Limiting the scary stuff that comes in. And I said the routine. The last one is staying connected. Again, this is for sanity, because we're going to be here weeks with a question mark at the end. I don't know how many weeks. So you need to connect with people because we're social beings. Okay. So, and the next one is my favorite, which is helping someone. Help someone every day. But I can't leave my house. OMG, do you know how many ways there are to help? First of all, there are a million. Second of all, I'd love for you to get creative about it. Thirdly, it's reaching out. So writing letters, my son's going to write letters to his Nana. So, and this is the truth. She will love, he could stick a sticker on a piece of paper and write his name. I mean, and he's 13. She will love it. He sends a couple every day. I mean, she's going to be in heaven with that. And then he's doing something. So there really are ways that you can help people. And you certainly can, if you're, not sick and you're going to the grocery store, you can get extra groceries for your older neighbor. There's lots of things like that you can do. But I want you to be thinking of something you can do every day for someone else. Again, I am thinking of your mental health. This is how you stay feeling, not worthy is a little too, but effective, part of the community, doing what you need to be doing. These are very, very important things. So I beg you to take this information seriously. I know you're doing such a good job of being home and doing that. I know you are. And it is tough. And then I need you to go the extra mile to really take care of yourself. I know you can do that. And these are some really good ways of doing it. And then we are going to talk about, it's in the blog, so I'm not leaving you hanging completely. There's the 5 steps about how not to eat everything when we're so stressed out, because that is not going to serve you well. It is not going to work to eat your way through this, because it's weeks and weeks and weeks. Let me tell you something. If it was 3 days, whatever, go for it, because we know how to deal with 3 days. 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 10 weeks, that's not a strategy that's going to work for us. So we have to figure it out. So look at the basics in the blog. I'm going to have a second Facebook Live tomorrow, 12:30, same time, to go over the nitty-gritty of the ways to cope without food. And it includes planning your food day. It includes, which is pre-logging. It includes journaling. There's actively things you need to do, comfort lists. These are things that you have to think about. And here's the good news. You have the time. You're home. Now, I know people are working at home, so it's not like you have endless time. You're just, sitting with your legs up. But you have the moments that you need to work this through. And I'm going to go through that with you tomorrow at 12:30. And there's going to be a workbook that you can download. Okay? I love you guys. I know what I'm so proud of is all of us. It's so amazing how we are doing what we can to protect our community. I mean, this is such a beautiful thing. Can you, the level that this is happening is, in terms of what people are doing to protect each other, is phenomenal. It's impressive. This kind of energy, you can do anything. We can do anything, and so can you. So I will, please, if there's any questions, I will address anything. Happy to. Put it on the post if you're watching this after it's live, anything like that. I will happily answer it. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Please stay well. Bye.